Welcome to Arcade Audio.
Welcome to Dilettante Ball. I'm Johnny.
I'm Spencer.
Here on Dilettante Ball, we go on Wikipedia.
We click random article.
And we talk about it.
Yeah, we do.
That's all. I mean, if you're looking for something to do tonight, come to the Crowd Theater in Chicago at 8. Check out Let Sleeping Dogs Lie, the comedy quiz show of questioning answers and answering questions, but in the other order.
Yeah, and if you can't come out to Chicago, that's okay. You can watch us at twitch.tv/thecrowdcomedy. 8 o'clock Central.
That's all.
It's free if you watch online.
That's true.
It's
One weird trick the crowd doesn't want you to know. Yeah, I got nothing. You want to just dive right in?
Let's dive right in.
This better be a good one. Yeah, sure. Etal Castle
Seems bad.
It's a ruined medieval fortification in the village of Etal, Northumberland, England. It was built around 1341. That's crazy. By Robert Manners.
A very polite young man.
And comprised a residential tower, a gatehouse, and a corner tower protected by a curtain wall.
So it's just two big towers.
Mm-hmm.
What is the wall protecting? It's not protecting. It's protecting the backyard from the front yard. You fucking idiot. Too polite to ask for more land.
The castle was involved both in local feuding and the border wars between England and Scotland. There was a battle between the rival Manners and Heron families outside the walls in 1428 and in 1513. It was briefly captured by King James IV of Scotland.
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un. King James IV of Scotland during his invasion of England. The castle passed into the hands of the Crown.
Oh.
There's an article. The Crown is a link to an article. In 1547, and was garrisoned as part of the border defenses, but fell into disrepair and was abandoned as a military fortification after 1603. In the 18th century, it ceased to be used as a domestic dwelling and became ruinous. In the 21st century...
How weird is that? And it just fucking sat there for 400 years?
Well, I mean, I know we've talked about this before, but, like, people only started preserving things, like, yesterday, basically.
That is true.
I mean, the BBC, they were like...
They're like throwing shit away.
Yeah, no one wants to see these old tapes.
Right. But still, like, just a big ass castle and shit. Just sitting there. No one was like squatting in it. I mean, someone must have been, but like, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? This thing sat around for 700 years.
If there's like a Burger King that closes down, like people will move in, you know, like
yeah.
even if they're not like a homeless or anything, it's just like, oh, tight, like an old ass Burger King. This rules.
I don't have to pay $800 for rent or whatever.
Or just like, I just want to hang out in an old Burger King.
Yeah, put in some, some throw rugs, get a little TV in here.
Look at all the old toys.
Yeah.
That rules. I want to find an old ass Burger King.
Good luck, man. They're scarce. Everyone, because the minute someone sees an old Burger King, they move in. You can't get a new old Burger King anymore.
Have you ever? The concept of like urban exploring is so cool to me.
Yeah, I used to be really into the concept of it.
I'm too much of a coward
to do
it.
That's the thing, yeah.
I
started researching like MIT was big into that kind of shit. Like
the university?
Yeah. Like people that go there.
Oh, so it wasn't like as part of your research, like
no.
Go into this abandoned Waffle House.
Right. But like the culture of hacking is what they call it, like of like pranks, basically, sort of. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but there's this really like pervasive culture of pranking at MIT that's been there for like...
Okay, that sucks, but...
Well, pranking is not the right word for it.
Practical joking?
So a great example is in the middle of the night, on top of like one of the tallest buildings, that's like a big domed building, they put like an old police cruiser on top of it.
Okay, that's fun.
So they were like...
They just do like crazy shit.
Yeah, crazy shit like that.
So it's not like...
well, we put a cow inside your schoolyard and... Yeah.
It's more or less harmless.
Yeah, right.
It's just like...
It's just wild.
Yeah.
Right.
That's fun.
And so part of that is like, like sneaking into like, service tunnels and shit like that.
That rules. Yeah. I love watching just like YouTube videos of like people doing urban exploring. Like...
I've never done that, but...
There's a great one. We should get T-shirts that say, I'm sure I've talked about this. But I'm sure I've talked about this.
I've worn this T-shirt before.
I've talked about this, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. Disney World had a water park that closed down.
Right.
And there are just videos of people like walking around there like now.
Right, and the music still plays, and the fountain still works.
It's fucking crazy. And then like Splendid China, which was another like weird attraction in Central Florida. Up until recently, they demolished it a couple years ago, but like people would just go in and like walk around this like miniature version of China.
Weird. Yes, that kind of stuff is so weird.
And then also just like, driving down some like old ass country road, and it's like, oh, here's like an old gas station. Just like videos of people just like going in. It's so cool.
Yeah, but those aren't castles. Like,
sure.
imagine if,
but there's no. I think
a skyscraper was just abandoned.
The thing about castles is like,
well, you don't know it.
Even if there's like stuff in there, it's like, I can't relate to any of this stuff. It's like, here's like a suit of, like, I don't care about a suit of armor, but it's like, look at this old ass Coke bottle. Like
maybe
this is like the thing I know, but old and weird.
Sure, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if there's also a level of like superstition, maybe like, oh, if I go in there, I'll get. Well, first of all, I'll get killed by a ghost.
And if a castle?
Yeah. And if a ghost doesn't kill me, well, then the governor will, because
on our honeymoon when we did Route 66, we didn't do any urban exploring, but you would go into like these little tiny like shops or gas stations or whatever, and it almost felt like that, because like,
Route 66 is almost urban exploring.
Straight
like
up.
This old weird like,
but
nearly abandoned.
Yeah, you would go into a store and it was just like, everything in here is so like old and weird, and like why?
It felt like it should be dusty, but it wasn't.
Yes, okay. Straight up. There was one that we went to in Kansas. Route 66 is only in Kansas for like 16 miles. Did I tell you about this?
Yeah.
The dude who like made Route 66 was from Kansas.
So he just wanted a little taste.
Yeah. But there's like a tiny little shop in there, and there was like just this crazy old like soda fountain that looked like it looked like it needed a hand crank to run. It was like everything was, and it was like it was like.
Did you get a soda there?
No, I don't drink soda.
Damn, this. That sucks though.
We got bottles of water or whatever. They were old. It was dust. So there was like new like gum and like snacks and stuff, and then there was also like a deli counter.
Weird.
And then if you go into the back, you like go into one room, and then there's like a little gift shop, sure. And then you go farther in because we had to use the restroom,
right?
And you like, it felt like once you went into the back, it was like just someone's. It was like they lived there. It was like their house, and you kind of were like using their bathroom.
So strange.
Yeah. Everything was like that. It was so bizarre.
The weirdest thing about it to me is like, it wasn't that long ago that was like that. Like, what, the 1950s, let's say?
Sure.
That's not long ago. And everything's completely different now. Like, no, it's just so weird. Like how recent it is and how foreign it is at the same time.
That's why I think the urban exploring is cooler than castles and shit are cool. But it's like, yes, stuff was obviously different in 1318 or whatever the fuck.
Right.
But yeah, like, why, like, I know people who were here, like, who were alive then.
Right.
Why is it so weird and different? Or even, like, I mean, so many businesses are probably closed in, like, the 80s or 90s. Or, like, going into old abandoned malls. Like,
right.
That's crazy. Because, like, I've been in malls.
Right.
You know?
In one of my classes, we're reading about Gilgamesh right now. It was written a long time ago. Like, it was. Some would say it was written the first thing.
I was just gonna say, wasn't it the first written thing?
Yeah, basically, yeah. It was like in the 2000 BC or something like that.
Sure.
It's like so long ago. And there's this really interesting part of it where he talks to this old man who's like immortal, and he's like, "How'd you get to be immortal?" And he's like, "Well, let me tell you." And then the dude just tells him the story of Noah and the ark. But guess what? This dude did it first. So like when the Bible was written, that was like well after the story had been written. So it's like, oh shit, like y'all just lived this from Gilgamesh. Like he's like, yeah, it was crazy, the gods were gonna kill everybody for being bad people, and they're gonna send a terrible flood. But one of them told me about it, and they told me how to build a boat. So I built a boat and put all the animals and stuff. I was like, dude, this is Noah. This is straight Noah. So I don't know. That's
why there are rainbows.
And that's what. Well, yeah.
And also, maybe it wasn't Noah. Maybe it was Abraham. Someone got circumcised when they were like super old.
It probably Abraham, because he also had a kid when he was like really old too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's in Gilgamesh too.
It hurt.
Yeah.
Because we don't have anesthesia.
Right.
Which I know about.
Yeah, they just like smash the dick with a rock is how it worked.
So I believe that there are quite a few sort of ancient tales about a great flood.
You sure?
And the theory
Mm-hmm.
is that, and again, I don't know anything about anything, so please don't fact check this.
Just turn this off.
But the theory is that like the either the Tigris or the Euphrates, or maybe
They're both right there.
There's a confluence of the two, right?
Sure. I mean, that's like
The cradle of filth.
right, the cradle of filth.
That's a band or something, right?
Yeah, it is a band. But yeah, like the Mesopotamians, like that was like between the two rivers.
So apparently
the fertile crescent.
Yeah, that's it. So the flooding and stuff of that area was like very predictable, but then they theorized that like one time it just flooded like it legit just flooded like crazy.
That's exactly what I think it was. I mean,
it was like obviously not like the whole world, but it's just like, whoa, shit.
Right.
Like,
it stands to reason that's exactly what happened. Like, it's like a lot of those. Like, I was researching a little bit. Like, and when I say researching, I mean go on Wikipedia for like half an hour until I get bored.
Just like this podcast.
Yeah, basically until my pizza rolls are done. I was doing research. Which, by the way, there's triple pepperoni pizza rolls now, so just be aware of that.
3 times the pepperoni. How's there room for cheese? Do they take cheese out, or can they somehow fit?
Let me tell you something. It tasted exactly like regular pepperoni, but it was the same cost, so I'm not losing anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's not just a single like cradle of civilization. There's like, or I mean, this probably isn't fact. It's probably like the best we could come up with. Mm-hmm. But there's like a handful of them, and they're all in places that you would expect. Like there was, the one that we're talking about now, like in the Middle East,
probably one in Africa,
right?
One in China.
Yeah, I think like the Yangtze River or something like that in China. The one in Africa maybe was like the Nile, like the Egyptians maybe. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I don't know that there was one in the Americas though necessarily. I just don't know off the top of my head.
The mighty Mississippi is the only one I can think of.
Right, or I mean the Amazon River is also a pretty big contender, I guess, just in terms of big rivers.
Yeah, all those books.
That's really interesting. It was like, and as I was like reading about so some of these people are familiar to if you were like raised in a Christian church, maybe you heard some of these tales in the Bible or some of these people or whatever.
Tales from the crypt.
Tales from the crypt of life. Yeah, but it was just interesting to me. I was like, why do we still have why is Christianity such a huge religion, and Judaism for that matter too? Mm-hmm. But like all these other religions and gods and stuff didn't make the cut.
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't that interesting?
I mean, I don't know.
Yes, I don't know either.
It is, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Or like any of the Egyptian stuff, why did that not?
Why did that not take?
Yeah, why didn't it take in terms of like the worldwide scale we currently?
Well, I mean, I think what it is was
the Romans probably conquered.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like kind of a almost survival of the fittest,
right?
In a way,
the victors write the history books.
Yeah, it was like
so that would explain why Egypt got screwed
because they were like became Greece, or was it Rome or Greece?
I mean, I don't. What's the difference?
Same thing, yeah.
So it's like okay, well that explains that, but like what happened in the Middle East? Like why did Judaism make it out alive or whatever?
I don't know.
Who's this fucking Jesus dude? Like it's so crazy to me that
he's the one.
2,000 years later, it's like everything. Like the fact that the year that we're talking, 2018 was 2018 years after his birth.
Do you think?
And I love the scientists are just like, well, shit, that's what we got. That's what we have to use. Like,
do you think that in the future, when stuff gets all garbled, like in a billion years, and people look down, they'll read the Bible?
First of all, a pretty big if.
And then they'll see some like pictures of Jesus,
right.
like the dude with the long hair,
right?
And then they'll watch a Chris Angel magic special, and they'll say,
"Wow,
that's him.
That's him." Smile you later. I was watching the Oscars, and I noticed during the in memoriam, they didn't say anything about all the police officers that died. Well, yeah, because they didn't make any movies. You fucking wackadoo.
Thank you for playing Arcade Audio. Play more at arcadeaudio.net.